Tracking your expenses is one of the most powerful habits you can develop in personal finance. It might seem tedious at first, but trust me, the benefits are worth it. Have you ever found yourself at the end of the month wondering where all your money went? You're not alone. Many people struggle with this, and the solution is simpler than you might think. Start tracking your expenses. Let's dive into why this habit is essential for financial success. When you track your expenses, you gain visibility into your spending habits. You can see where your money is going, identify unnecessary expenses, and make informed decisions about your finances. It's like shining a flashlight on your financial situation. Without this clarity, it's easy to overspend and lose sight of your financial goals. Now, let's address some common myths about expense tracking. One myth is that it's only for people who are struggling financially. In reality, even those who are financially stable can benefit from tracking their expenses. It's not just about cutting costs. It's about understanding your spending patterns and making your money work for you. Another myth is that tracking expenses is time-consuming. With today's technology, it can be as simple as downloading an app or using a spreadsheet. You can even automate the process with bank notifications or budgeting tools. So, how do you actually track your expenses? There are several methods to choose from. You could go old school with pen and paper, jotting down every purchase in a notebook. This method can be quite effective if you prefer a tactile approach. Alternatively, you might opt for digital solutions. Budgeting apps like Mint or YNAB can help you categorize your spending and provide insights into your financial habits. You can also use spreadsheets if you enjoy a more customized approach. The key is to find a method that works for you and stick with it. Once you've started tracking your expenses, the next step is analyzing your spending patterns. Look for trends in your spending. Are you spending more on dining out than you realized? Are there subscriptions you forgot about? This analysis can reveal areas where you can cut back and save more. It's about making conscious choices rather than mindlessly swiping your card. By adopting this simple habit of tracking your expenses, you can transform your financial life. You'll gain control over your spending, make better financial decisions, and ultimately work towards the life you want. Remember, financial success isn't just about how much you earn. It's about how well you manage what you have. So, grab that notebook or download that app and start tracking your expenses today. You'll be amazed at the difference it can make.
Tracking my expenses has been a game changer for me. It's like shining a light on my spending habits. For instance, I never realized how much those daily coffees were costing me. Just think about it. Rs 3,000 a month on something I could easily cut back on. That's a significant amount that could go towards something more meaningful, like a vacation or a new gadget. When I started tracking my expenses, I found it much easier to stick to a budget. Knowing exactly where my money is going helps me stay within my limits. It's like having a financial GPS guiding me toward my goals. I can see how much I can spend on entertainment or dining out without going overboard. Overspending is so easy when you're not keeping an eye on your expenses. I used to splurge on nights out or impulse buys without a second thought. But once I started tracking, I noticed those little expenses adding up. It's eye-opening to see how quickly my bank balance could dwindle when I wasn't paying attention. Another benefit of tracking my expenses is that it helps me identify unnecessary costs. I discovered subscriptions I wasn't using anymore, like that streaming service I signed up for but never watch. Those small, recurring charges can really eat into my budget. By tracking, I can spot these leaks and eliminate them, freeing up money for things I truly value. Setting financial goals has also become much clearer for me. If I want to save Rs and 50,000 in 6 months, I can break that down into manageable monthly targets. Tracking my expenses allows me to allocate funds effectively, ensuring I'm on track to meet my goals. It's empowering to see my progress and know that I'm working towards something meaningful. Lastly, tracking my expenses has built a sense of discipline in my financial life. It's not just about knowing where my money goes. It's about taking control of it. Over time, I've developed better habits and a more mindful approach to spending. I feel more confident in my financial decisions, and that's a huge relief. So, if you are not tracking your expenses yet, I highly recommend you start. It's a simple practice that can lead to significant changes in your financial health. You'll gain awareness, stick to your budget, prevent overspending, identify unnecessary expenses, set achievable goals, and build discipline. It's all about taking that first step towards a more informed and empowered financial life.
Tracking expenses is often surrounded by a cloud of myths that can deter even the most motivated individuals from taking control of their finances. Let's dive into some of these common misconceptions and set the record straight. First up, the myth that tracking expenses is time-consuming. Many people believe it takes hours to keep tabs on every dollar spent. But here's the truth. With the right apps and automation, it can take less than 5 minutes a day. Imagine spending just a few minutes each evening to log your expenses. That's less time than it takes to scroll through social media. Next, there's the belief that expense tracking is only for those drowning in debt. This couldn't be further from the truth. Everyone, regardless of their financial situation, can benefit from understanding their cash flow. Whether you're saving for a dream vacation, planning for retirement, or just want to know where your money goes each month, tracking expenses gives you clarity and control. It's about making informed decisions, not just surviving. Now, let's tackle the idea that tracking expenses means sacrificing fun. Many think that budgeting is all about cutting back and saying no to enjoyable experiences. But the reality is quite the opposite. When you track your expenses, you actually create a roadmap that allows you to allocate funds for the things you love, like dining out or movie nights, without guilt or financial stress. You can enjoy those moments knowing you've planned for them. Finally, there's the myth that tracking expenses is too complicated. Some people envision complex spreadsheets or tedious calculations. In truth, it can be as simple as jotting down your spending in a notebook or using a straightforward app. There are countless tools available that cater to different preferences and skill levels. The key is to find what works for you and start small. So, let's debunk these myths once and for all. Tracking expenses doesn't have to be a daunting task. It can be quick, beneficial for everyone, and even fun. With just a little effort, you can gain control over your finances and enjoy life without the constant worry about money. Embrace the process, and you'll find that financial freedom is within reach.
Tracking expenses can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. Let's dive into some effective methods that can help you keep your finances in check. First up, we have manual tracking. This is as simple as it gets. Grab a notebook or diary and jot down your daily expenses. It's a straightforward approach that's perfect for beginners. You'll be surprised how just writing things down can make you more aware of your spending habits. Plus, there's something satisfying about flipping through the pages and seeing where your money goes. Next, let's talk about spreadsheets. Tools like Excel or Google Sheets are fantastic for those who enjoy a bit of organization. You can categorize your expenses, create charts, and even see trends over time. There are plenty of downloadable templates available that make this process even easier. You can customize them to fit your needs, whether you want to track monthly bills or daily coffee runs. Now, if you're looking for something a bit more high-tech, budgeting apps are the way to go. Apps like Walnut, Money Manager, or Good Budget can automatically sync with your bank account, categorizing your spending without you lifting a finger. They provide insights into your habits and can even send you alerts when you're nearing your budget limits. It's like having a personal finance assistant right in your pocket. Then there's the envelope or cash method. This one is a bit more tactile. You allocate cash for different categories: groceries, entertainment, transport. And once that cash is gone, you're done spending in that category for the month. It's a great way to enforce discipline. You physically see the money leaving your hands, which can make you think twice before splurging on that extra latte. Finally, let's not forget about hybrid methods. This is where you can combine the best of both worlds. You might manually track your cash expenses while using an app for your digital payments. This way, you get the benefits of being hands-on with your cash while still enjoying the convenience of technology for your online transactions. It's a balanced approach that can cater to all your spending habits. Each of these methods has its own strengths, and the best part is you can choose one or mix and match to find what works for you. The key is to stay consistent and find a system that you can stick with. Tracking your expenses doesn't have to be a chore. It can be a powerful tool to help you take control of your finances and achieve your financial goals.
Tracking expenses is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you dive into analyzing your spending. Let's break it down step by step. First, categorizing your expenses is crucial. Think of it as creating a financial map. Group your expenses into categories like rent, food, entertainment, and savings. This simple act reveals where most of your money flows. You might be surprised to see how much you spend on takeout or that subscription service you barely use. Next, look for trends in your spending habits. This is where the detective work comes in. Are there certain areas where you consistently overspend? For instance, if you find yourself dining out 3 times a week, that could easily add up to Rs 10,000 a month. That's a significant chunk of change. Recognizing these patterns can help you make informed decisions moving forward. Now, let's talk about needs versus wants. This is a game changer. Ask yourself, is this expense necessary or is it just a luxury? It's easy to justify that new gadget or those fancy shoes, but when you really think about it, do you need them? This mindset shift can help you prioritize your spending and keep your finances in check. Setting spending limits is another powerful tool. Once you've categorized your expenses and identified trends, decide how much you'll allocate to each category moving forward. It's like creating a budget that works for you. Sticking to these limits can be challenging, but it's essential for controlling your spending. Remember, discipline today leads to financial freedom tomorrow. Finally, align your spending with your financial goals. What are you saving for? An emergency fund, a dream vacation, or perhaps a new home? Adjust your spending habits to ensure you're putting aside enough for these important goals. It's all about making your money work for you, not the other way around. By categorizing your expenses, identifying trends, distinguishing between needs and wants, setting limits, and aligning with your financial goals, you can transform your financial situation. It's not just about tracking, it's about understanding and taking control. With a little effort and awareness, you can pave the way to a healthier financial future.
Tracking expenses consistently can feel like a daunting task, but it doesn't have to be. I found that making it a habit is all about small, manageable steps. Let's dive into some practical tips that have really worked for me. First, I've committed to tracking my expenses daily. Just a quick 2 to 3 minutes every evening is all it takes. I sit down, pull out my receipts, and update my expenses. It's amazing how those small efforts add up over time. By doing this daily, I stay aware of where my money is going, and it prevents any surprises at the end of the month. Next up is automation. I've set up automatic syncing with my budgeting apps. This means my bank transactions are updated in real time without me having to lift a finger. It significantly reduces the manual effort involved in tracking expenses, allowing me to focus on analyzing my spending instead of just recording it. Setting reminders has also been a game changer. I use my phone's alarm feature to set a daily or weekly reminder for expense tracking. It's like having a personal assistant nudging me to stay on top of my finances. When that alarm goes off, I know it's time to check in on my spending, and it's become a part of my routine. I also make it a point to review my expenses weekly or monthly. This regular analysis helps me stay on track with my financial goals. I look for patterns in my spending, identify areas where I can cut back, and celebrate the progress I've made. It's not just about tracking, it's about understanding my financial habits. And here's a tip that adds a little fun to the process. I've created a reward system for myself. For every day I successfully track my expenses, I give myself a little star. At the end of the month, if I filled up my chart, I treat myself to something nice, maybe a favorite meal or a small outing. This little incentive keeps me motivated and makes the whole process feel less like a chore. So remember, consistency is key. By tracking daily, automating where possible, setting reminders, reviewing regularly, and making it enjoyable, you can turn expense tracking into a habit that sticks. It's all about finding what works for you and making it a part of your daily life.
I want to share some powerful stories about how tracking expenses transformed lives. First, let's talk about the overspender. Picture this. A young professional, fresh out of college, excited about life. But there's a catch. Every month, Rs 5,000 was disappearing into a black hole of unnecessary subscriptions, streaming services, apps, and memberships that were hardly ever used. One day, they decided to take a closer look at their spending. The shock of seeing that number made them realize just how much was being wasted. With a few clicks, they cancelled those subscriptions and suddenly found themselves with extra cash. That money wasn't just numbers on a screen anymore. It became the ticket for a dream trip they had always wanted. By tracking expenses, they didn't just save money, they created memories. Now, let's move on to the budget beginner. A homemaker juggling family responsibilities felt the weight of rising grocery prices. She decided to take control and started tracking her grocery expenses. At first, it seemed tedious, but soon it became enlightening. She discovered patterns in her spending, those little indulgences that added up. By making small adjustments, she managed to cut her monthly grocery bill by 15%. That's not just a number, it's a significant boost to her savings. With that extra money, she could finally start setting aside funds for her child's education. Tracking expenses didn't just change her budget, it changed her family's future. Then, there's the smart saver. A freelancer living the dream of working on their own terms faced the challenge of irregular income. Some months were great, while others were tight. They knew they needed a strategy, so they turned to expense tracking. By meticulously recording every rupee earned and spent, they gained clarity on their financial situation. They learned to budget for lean months and save during the good ones. Eventually, they saved enough for a down payment on a house, a place to call their own. Tracking expenses wasn't just about managing money, it was about building a life. These stories show that tracking expenses is more than just numbers. It's about empowerment. It's about taking control of your financial narrative. Whether you're an overspender, a budget beginner, or a smart saver, the act of tracking can lead to profound changes. It's a simple tool that can unlock doors to dreams and aspirations. So, why not start today? Track your way to success and see where it takes you.
Tracking your expenses might seem like a small step, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can build. Think about it. When you track your spending, you gain control over your financial life. You start to see where your money is going, and that clarity can be a game changer. It's not just about knowing how much you spend. It's about understanding your habits and making informed decisions. Start simple. Choose a method that works for you, whether it's a budgeting app, a spreadsheet, or even good old-fashioned pen and paper. The key is to track daily. It only takes a few minutes, but those minutes can lead to significant insights. You might be surprised by what you discover. Maybe you're spending more on takeout than you realized, or perhaps those small subscriptions are adding up faster than you thought. Once you've tracked your expenses for a month, take some time to analyze the data. Look for patterns. Are there areas where you can cut back? Are there expenses that don't align with your values? This is where the magic happens. You'll start to feel more confident about your financial decisions because you're making them based on real data, not just guesswork. And let's be honest, tracking your expenses can be empowering. It gives you the ability to set goals and work towards them. Want to save for a vacation? Or maybe you're looking to pay off debt. When you know where your money is going, you can allocate funds more effectively and make those goals a reality. If this video inspired you to start tracking, give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend who needs to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more personal finance tips that can help you take control of your financial future. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me, what's the first thing you'll track starting today? Let's discuss. Remember, the journey to financial freedom starts with small steps. Control your money, control your life.